All right, we're live.
Ready? Good morning, guys. Saturday, 10:30. I've been looking forward to doing this from last night. I actually was up all night excited to do this. Why? Because if you remember last week, we talked about something that right now is all over the news and hasn't been on the news forever, the price of silver. Okay, and if you remember last Saturday, we made videos about it. We talked about it. We said the crescendo was setting up. We've been on this since May. We said the crescendo is silver is going to go parabolic. But people do not know how to trade parabolic because there is no formula. There is no way to trade it. There is no style. All you need is experience. I've been doing this since the mid 80s. So I have experience in parabolics. So when I recognize something setting up, take advantage of it. What happened? If you remember, if you go look at our video, we actually sent out a special video on silver last Saturday, right after we went live. And we said, guys, if something goes parabolic, you have to have a plan before it happens. And then you're going to come back a week later, which is what we said last Saturday. We said, come back today and look at what happened. And you're going to be glad what you did. This is what happened to silver. It's not even epic. It's historic. And it's historic in any commodity that has moved in history. The only thing I could think of that's moved more historically than this was maybe when oil went negative a few years ago. But otherwise, this is probably the next most historic move in commodities people have ever seen. Just going to go to here. Okay, look at this, guys. This is not a bad print. Okay, usually on charts, this looks like a bad print. This is not a bad print. We've been talking about this for a while. Since April or May, we put out videos. You go look, we put a culmination of videos saying silver is the play of the summer, the play of the year, and now you're not going to believe what's going to happen. It's going to get on everyone's radar. It's going to become a mania, and it's going to go parabolic, and that's exactly what this was. This was parabolic all week, meaning I'm going to clean this up for you because the speed changes. The mania just says, get me in. Okay, you can see this is fast compared to this. Then it gets faster, and then parabolic means there is no speed. It just goes. And we left the video. We said, what you got to do is you got to have a plan. And the plan was when it goes parabolic, which we last Saturday, we said the setup is here. Then there is no style. You have to pick your strategy on the weekend before the week starts. And if it hits it, then you got to do it. And our strategy was silver can go to 110, 115, 120. And you have to leave your selling in. And you can't listen. You have to put on headphones. You have to be totally oblivious to the outside crescendos because as it goes higher, it's going to make you more bullish. You can't listen to that. You have to have a plan. You sell it. You sell it. You sell it. Now, we've been in from here. Okay, so what do? This is the ultimate breakout. This is where you cash. Because why? What do we say parabolic is? And this is what people, I don't care, anyone who tells you they have a way to trade parabolic, they're full of it. The only reason I know this, because I've been doing this and I recognized it. That's all. I don't have an edge either, but I had a plan. And what do we say? The speed going up is incredible. It's kind of like going from 30 miles an hour to 130 miles an hour. How do you adjust the way you drive? But the thing is, when it stops, 130 is slow. It will go down faster. Then you say to yourself, this doesn't make sense. Parabolic does not make sense. That's why you have to use a little bit of experience, and you can't fall into the traps. Look what happened when it stopped. This is one day. This is yesterday. It's all over the news. Any economic news, any business news, they're talking about what happened to silver yesterday. Look at this speed. And you had to sell it on the way up. We even said this in the video. If you try to sell it after it turns, you won't get filled. You'll be chasing. What you wind up doing is you get to a point and say, okay, well, I'm not going to sell it now. I'm actually going to buy more. And then look what happened. Okay? Guys, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm trying to tell you this was the best thing for silver. Okay? This is incredible. Silver's been anywhere from a $10 to $40 price commodity for a century. Okay, yesterday it had a $44 range, $44 in one day.
Some people are saying it looks like crypto.
What? That's what the crescendo was, a crypto crescendo. That's right. Whoever said that is absolutely right. And this is the mania. But now that you've blown everybody out, the same way the crypto people who just got in and got blown out. That's a while ago, and that you can't see. Okay, that was a little bit of electronic, digital feeding and hype. This is real. This is real silver. We show you the silver bars. This has still got a story. But now that you've gotten everyone taken out, this is where hopefully my experience will give us an edge. Because what this did is it spooked every person that's trying to get into the silver market. Well, we call them a tourist. They decided, I want to be in silver. They hear it. They won't have the same. They don't have just little slits in their arm. They have scars. And some people might even be blown out. Okay. Now, the real silver business, the real silver market, the traders, the people who understand silver, which I think I have enough experience. I'm doing this, like I said, since the mid 80s. So I'm pretty sure I've seen everything in silver before. Now we have an edge. Okay. Now we could trade silver. We've been saying this, and seriously, I've had friends, family members, people around the planet who know me for 40, 50 years trading silver saying we need an opinion in silver. And I said the same thing for the whole month of January. You have to wait. You have to wait. It's going to get to a point where you're going to say, I can't believe I listened to you. Look what happened. Look where it is. Okay. Now, I got so many phone calls. I'm sure I'm going to get more phone calls this weekend of people saying, okay, this is what you meant. Yes, this is what I meant. I didn't even think it was going to extend this far down. But now the price of silver, the silver business, the fundamentals, now is when you can make some money trading silver. Believe me, I've been sitting there with my eyes wide open, and I can imagine anyone else who's been long some kind of silver. I was not long silver. Okay, I've been waiting. Now I'm going to get long silver. Anyone who's long silver, they can't believe. This was surreal. Okay, I know I'm focusing a little too much on silver. We got other things to talk about, but this is on everyone's radar on the planet. And I also seen a lot of symptoms when silver got below here. Now I understood, believe me, parabolic up is parabolic down. Okay, when it got to here, I said, this is kind of an area. And this kept going to $74. Guys, you have to be kidding. Talk about a round trip. Okay, a round trip means, like, Guy Adami is part of our group. Okay, Guy, I have the ultimate respect. And there's an old saying we say, the stairs up and the elevator down. This was the stairs up and the elevator down. Now you've taken everyone out of the market that was long silver. They couldn't stay in the market. It's emotionally impossible to stay in. You want to get out because you can't take the pain no more. Believe me, you know why I'm saying this? What do you think? I've never lost money trading silver? Oh, I can tell you stories that might even blow this one away. Okay, so it's possible, but now you've taken them out. Now you can do this. You want to hear a quick 10-second story? In 1987, the price of silver moved actually larger than this move in a few hours in 1987. And I remember it because it was about 3 weeks before I was ready to get married. And I remember calling my wife, because I was a silver trader at JP Morgan. I remember calling my wife and said, listen, we get married in a few weeks. I'm probably going to be unemployed because I lost money because I honored a bunch of trades. Okay, that's how fast the price of silver went down. I said, I'm probably getting fired. The boss is coming down. The president of JP Morgan is coming down. They've never seen this before. I said, they're probably going to fire me. And they didn't fire me. They actually asked my opinion, and we traded, and we actually made it back, kind of on a bounce. Okay, but this can happen. Okay, and what it did, it made everyone who thought they knew about silver. Remember all the silver experts that you've been hearing about this month. Remember I told you this. Everybody's a silver expert now. Okay, they knew about 20. They were right and accurate on about 20% of what's going on in silver. They had no idea what was going on in the other 80%, and this did it. So all of you that felt it wasn't a trap, it was just an allure. It was get me in. I don't want to miss this. And look what happened. So if you avoided that, and we've been trying to tell you this all month, say, this is not the time. Not yet, not yet, not yet. If you belong to our group, they've been asking us, and we keep saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. You know what I said yesterday? Yes. Now we got to find the right spots. Now you could look for silver equities. You can look for silver, look for futures, ways to trade silver, ways to trade gold now, platinum, palladium, because this took all the air out of, and it's not a bubble. People are going to say now, the news is going to be from last week to now, oh, this was a bubble. This is not a bubble. Okay. When I showed you once in a while, as I grab one of these kilo bars, that tells me it's not a bubble. And I have ways that I've been taught, ways that I've watched, ways that I've experienced that I can tell you if this bubble is pop. This is not pop. This just took out the tourists. Okay. I know I've talked a lot because seriously, I'm very excited because this is what we wanted. This is what we want. We have a lot more commodities. Let's take some questions first because I'm sure they're all about silver.
Yeah, we have a good question
I can
from
imagine.
Johnny T about silver. Do you think this is the first leg of the correction,
No,
or is there more correcting to come for silver?
I think there is more, but I think this was the major one. Now you got to do some navigating, and then the fundamentals, which I'll be able to hopefully recognize, will tell us when the spot is because we still think silver has a lot more room on the upside. This just took everybody out.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here about silver. Talk about the impact of initial margin and maintenance margins.
That's right. That's exactly was one of the reasons. People just wanted to buy silver futures, and it's a marginable commodity. And when you raise the margins, people don't want to put up the extra money, and they raise them very large. So if you want to say, I want to put $5,000 in silver, I want to buy a silver future. I think 5 is too small. I want to put 10. Okay, now you still want to have that same silver exposure. Now they tell you we got to put up 20. You don't want to put up the other 10. First of all, you might not have had the other 10. So if you don't put it up, they sell you out. And this has happened to everyone that wanted to be in, that had no idea what they were getting into. That's the thing we kept bringing up this month. We said there's a lot of people that have no idea what they're getting into, and they just found out.
This is from Lauren N. Joe, do you still believe we're in the fifth or sixth inning with silver?
What silver did now brought us right back to the fifth inning. We were into the seventh or eighth inning. We talked about that. We said we're actually approaching the seventh or eighth inning, which means you need that correction. Now you go back down to the fifth or sixth inning because we do think you're going to be looking for fifth, fourth, third inning prices. Then we could get in to go back to, in our opinion, get into extra innings.
Okay. The reason I brought Proof Eagles at $100, so it didn't take the bullion hit when it happened.
That's right. That's right. You're taking a hit, but you're going to be fine. And then the Eagles were the best things you could buy.
This is from Bushy. Should we switch to silver mines?
Well, that's what we're going to be doing as a group because the silver mines have pulled back. Now you got to know where to get in. I'm going to give you an example. Heckler, you guys ask me about this every week. Okay, here's Heckler. Okay, now where do you get in? Okay.
This is HL.
HL. I'm going to put it up. You're right. HL. I'm going to put a bunch of silver ones. I'm kind of focusing on silver because this is the opportunity here. Now, fine. This made uniform move. And what did it do? Parabolic. Okay, so what did it do? The speed up is the speed down. You did all this parabolic move, and in a couple of days, look where you are. Now, do you get back in here? Do you get back in here? Do you get back in here? How do you know where? I agree with you. You want to start looking at the silver mines because they still got a lot of room to catch up. But people were in here. Now, if you're in here, you're screwed. You're not screwed. You're nervous. You're in above. You're getting uncomfortable. You started buying here, then you withstand. We still think there's opportunities. Okay, you got to know where the spots are. I'm just using Heckler as one example. I have a bunch of them that I'm looking at. Why? Because I have a strategy. I have been waiting all month for this. Okay, the whole month. I thought it was going to take longer. I actually thought it was going to be around Valentine's Day. This was all going to come to a head. You're going to get your chance. What I've been waiting, and it would take a little while. I didn't think it would take 10 hours. Okay, but think of where your thought process was on Thursday, and think of what your thought process is coming in on Monday. It's like, wow, this is never going to stop going up. And now you're going to say to yourself, wow, we just popped a bubble. What do I got left? Do I want to cash in what I got? Because if you still have some left, okay, because you're going to go from how do I make it back? You're going to go to the logic, which has made me money all my career. Okay, the logic is when people see things come back, they say, how do I make back what I just lost? Then you're going to get to a point, you're going to get so nervous, you're going to go, how do I protect what I still have left? That's the trading edges that we use here in RNTR.
Okay, next one here. We have a question about EXK.
EXK, another one. Same thing. You guys have been asking me the last couple of weeks. I said, I'm not in EXK. I'm waiting for my area. Okay, EXK. I am so glad I said, look at EXK. Okay, it was doing it. All the silver equities are the same as silver. Okay, silver was, the futures were just extreme. Okay, same thing. Think about it. You chasing it, and we would not chase. Now you're right back to the highs from the last quarter, from the fourth quarter of last year. Now we start to look, and I have spots because this is going to give you, this extension will give your levels a little more room. this is when you have to adjust. This is when you belong to the group where you say, this is the spot. No, for the last 6 or 7 months, that was a spot. Now it's not a spot because of that move. Now it's an area. It's a big difference. So you have to adjust the way you trade. Okay, we're not investors, we're traders. That made us, this is going to make us traders.
All right, let's see here. A lot of people are asking about SLV.
SLV, you know our opinion on SLV. Stay away from it. Okay, we showed you the point about SLV. We made our point a few times. When the price of silver was $120. Okay, price of silver was $120. Okay, price of SLV, which is supposed to be equivalent of silver. The high was ever made was 110. So as it was going higher, you were getting shaved and shaved and shaved. And there's an incurrent cost, which is called the cost of carry. You don't have to, the only cost of carry you have to pay is on interest earning dollars. You don't have to pay for a vault, you have to pay for insurance, so you never got paid properly on the way up. We said that they would separate, and it did. Now SLV, same thing. Okay, price of silver is 80. Okay, price of silver is $85 in futures. Price of SLV is $75 in futures. Well, how come it's not $85? Okay, we avoid SLV, and I'm not going to change my view. You don't trade SLV. I'd rather trade the minors, or I'll try to trade the mini futures. Well, we trade the big futures. We can trade the mini ones.
So what's better than SLV? That's what's
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everything else that says silver is better than SLV. That's my opinion.
Did you buy silver mines on Friday?
We bought some Friday afternoon. We bought some silver Friday afternoon, and we have a plan to buy more. The same way I just said, they're not spots no more, they're areas. So I have a whole plan waiting for all of us. You can see it in my voice. You can see my face today. I was excited to do this.
Did they change all the margin rules around January 3rd for silver?
They've been changing the margin rules for a while as silver went into a mania. That's what caused this. They didn't think it would cause this much of a pullback. But yes, and they will continue to change margin requirements.
All right. How about we go into gold? A lot of people ask about gold.
They should ask about gold because that's another one. Okay? Say what you want. Silver had to do that. Silver had to take away the hype, the mania. I'm trying to think, the meme. Gold don't have any of that. Okay? Gold pulled back. Okay? You pulled back. Okay? Gold got up to $5,600 an ounce. 4,000 was such a big area. 4,000. Gold's been doing that for a while. It sits, okay, and then it goes and gets into another area. It sits and gets through another move, and then it gets into another area. Now it's pulling back. We think gold is, whatever you want to say, it's $4,900 an ounce. Very different than silver. We've been saying this for a while. We've been saying this since the beginning of the end of the summer. We said gold should be looked at as a currency. Silver should be looked at as a speculative way to be long a metal. Very different. So we don't think gold can go all the way. We think gold, you start looking to buy some gold. We're starting to look at gold stocks, but they have a lot of room to correct. So the same thing. We're not looking for spots in gold now. We're looking for areas. And we have a whole plan coming up this week.
All right, next one, palladium.
Palladium, same thing. Okay, what do? We look for opportunities. Okay, and what are we doing? Palladium is an opportunity. Okay, this was ideal. Oh, I'm looking at these charts. Seriously, I feel like putting a bib on here because I have spots in palladium now that I'm looking to get into palladium. Okay, palladium went from 1,000 to 2,000. It's fine. Palladium could go to 10,000. I've seen that happen in my career. Okay, but now you got the pullback because it's metals risk off because of silver. Okay, palladium has a good story. We are going to be looking at palladium in the next week and a half, 2 weeks to put on some palladium. And we also have a couple of equities that have palladium exposure. We're looking to buy those also. We like palladium. Just got to wait for your spot. We have an area in palladium also.
Okay, next one. Let's look at platinum.
Platinum, same thing. I'm glad you guys are interested in metals because I think this is the week. You have to focus on metals. Oil had a big move too. But metals is the one that you waited for this. And we waited. I'm only talking about because I've waited. Look at this in platinum. I mean, this is incredible. You don't have to watch the Super Bowl. This is better than the Super Bowl. Okay, 2,000 was the big number in platinum. And then what happened? You had the spook, you held 2,000, and then you kind of try to go parabolic with everything else, and now it's breathing. And now where is it? Right back at 2000. Okay, that's what we want. But you got to remember, when you have something like this, wherever your spots are, they got to become areas, not spots. So that means you start, and we're going to start looking at platinum this week. Okay, but not at spots. We're going to be looking for areas. Okay, and we're going to be looking to get right back into platinum.
Okay. Let's see what we have here. What's your take on PLG?
PLG is one of the ways that we want to get palladium exposure. Okay, they think PLG is more platinum, and just in my opinion, I think it's more palladium exposure. So it'll move with palladium. It's come down. This was something we made a video on last week, if I'm right. We talked about PLG, how we put it on the beginning of the year. We bought it 4 times, once, twice, 3, 4, and then we sold a piece to cash. We didn't sell a piece up here. We should have, and now it's coming down. And we're looking to put these pieces right back on. Okay, I like PLG. Now this is something we belong to the group. But since we've traded it, now I'm putting it on here when we go live. But this is something that only as a group we've had this. I like PLG, and I'm going to put it all back on.
Okay, next one here. Do you view GLD same as SLV?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, they have costs. You don't have to pay those costs. And especially in GLD, because a lot of the cost is storage, insurance. Okay, silver's bulky, so you got to pay for storage. Gold, where are you going to store it? You can put the coins in your pocket.
Next one here. Let's look at the dollar yen.
Dollar yen, that's the one that also we made a view on, and now we're going to get, we think, to the spot to buy yen. We put out a video last week on the yen. First time we put out a foreign exchange video, any kind of currency video in years. And look what happened. We put it out and went straight up. Okay, we put out the video right here as a group. We talked about it. It's the only time they ever heard me talk about a currency. And look what happened to the yen. Now it went to a beautiful area, and we have areas that we're going to put the yen on. I'm going to be looking to put yen on this week. Okay, this week and next week, I'm going to be looking to buy yen because I think yen's got a lot more room on the upside. But you don't chase. Okay, you know why we're doing well over the last few years? Because we don't chase. Now, fine, if it keeps going up, I missed it. But I think you're going to get your chances. I'm glad I didn't do this. I'm glad I'm waiting for my spots. I'm going to get long yen on a pullback. I'm only telling you what I'm doing.
All right, let's see. Let's see what else we have here. How about the energy sector?
Energy sector caught everyone off guard. Didn't catch anyone off guard. Okay, but now they're trying to put war premium back. They're trying to extend it. Our opinion is, oil is in a range. Metals are on a mission. Well, oil's in a different story now because when it was down here, the spreads were telling us, and we read this as a group. Okay, spreads were telling us oil is getting very bullish. Okay, down here. And we've been doing this for a couple of years now. It's been working for us. So we thought it could get right up around here. Now you got an extended move because why? It happened where the news came out on a Thursday or a Friday. People know they got 3 days now of possible war, possible friction, oil supply disruptions. So it extended. Now, if nothing happens or if it's tame, we think oil can go right back down. Plus, you got a little bit of cold weather. So the heating oil sector has gone higher. Natural gas has gone sector. So you got this here. We think oil looks great. Well, I won't chase it up here.
All right, next one, UNG.
Natural gas, same thing. Now you got a little weather in there. Okay. Now, February natural gas came off the board this week. That was something that people are saying, well, look at natural gas. It was not natural gas, the February contract. It was a contract where you had the perfect storm of people caught short, you had weather, and it had an expiration date, it had a shot clock. So it was a futures contract that just happened to say natural gas. March is the way you read natural gas, not February. But now it looks fantastic because you got a little weather. So natural gas looks great. Look at this. Okay. Now think about where February went off trading around $7. That's what I'm saying. That is not the price of natural gas. If you remember, we had a curveball that we read Friday and a half ago. We said the price of natural gas rate. We made a video. We said this was a curveball. I saw something that I haven't seen in a while. The whole group was there, and we got involved pretty deeply in natural gas, and we caught this very nicely. Okay, we caught this, and we caught UNG. Now UNG, now you want to start to really look at UNG because on a pullback, okay, because we're looking at the price structure. Okay, so we think UNG has got room on the upside. Okay, but I think you're going to get a chance because we got a little bit of weather that actually might be a little bit. Now the weather has gotten extreme, took a breather and got extreme again. Now the forecasters might get a little breather again. On this breather, we will look to buy UNG. I have my areas. I'm looking to buy UNG. If you have it on, enjoy this ride. What a great ride. Think about that. From here to here in a couple of weeks.
Okay, we have a question from Turo. Joe, when the market opens in China and Japan tomorrow, do you think metals will be bought back by China?
Yes, I think they're going to open up stronger.
All right, next one here. Let's see. Yep, he said stay away from SLV. Do you think silver can hit lower when the market opens next week?
With a move like that, I think you got to give yourself $10 to $15 of more room on either side. The fact that I got as low as 74, I think you can easily try that again. Okay, but I think now you got to adjust the way you trade. You need big. That's why you got to, the same way we adjust our trade strategies. Okay, if you've been following us, you know we trade silver futures, we trade gold futures, palladium. We adjusted our amounts. We usually have a certain quantity or increment that we use when we trade silver. We've made it a lot smaller because you have to adjust accordingly. Yes, I think silver is easily $15 either way from here. So if you think you're finding an area, a spot right now, I think you're playing with fire.
Okay, well, in a couple months from now, do you think silver will triple?
I have no idea what's going to happen a couple months from now. Don't ask me questions that, I'm not reading crystal balls here. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. And we traders, we don't look to give you 6 month, 1 year, where we think it's going to be. We trade.
All right. One thing that people aren't talking a lot about, and we see a comment here, what about copper?
Copper, we put out a video last week. We thought it's going to have a parabolic move and it's kind of going to fail. I'm not as bullish copper as everyone else is. The planet is very bullish copper. It's a great story. I just don't think it's a good story up here. Okay, we put out the video, and then the next day, copper had a monster move. So I mean, I look like a real idiot on that one. But I still think that story is a little bit of a trap. Okay, we made a whole video right around here. So copper, this is an area where if it fails, it could go. And then the next day, you have this. And now look what copper is. It's below that area we were looking to sell. I think you got to watch yourself in copper. I think copper is one that can do what silver did, and it could breathe. Okay, we like the story. We just don't like it up here.
All right, next one. Let's see. We have questions about MOS.
Yes, we got back into MOS yesterday. We've been trading around MOS, and it's been working. Remember, we bought MOS beginning of the year, first day of the year, bought it a couple of times. We sold it all out right here, cashed in the whole thing. We bought a piece yesterday. We have in areas that we're looking to buy more MOS and put it right back on. We like the price of fertilizer. We like the price of grains. And we think something like nitrogen can be on people's radar down the road. So if it is, then you want to be long some fertilizer. So we started getting back into MOS yesterday.
How about SMCI?
SMCI, we've traded around it. It's only a trading vehicle. We don't have a strong opinion. We don't have it on. We're looking to put it on again to trade. We caught SMCI twice already this year. We bought it. We bought it here, sold it here, bought it here, sold it here. We have no position on now. We will look at it. But now I'm not in a rush. If the whole market's going to breathe, I'm not be looking to buy SMCI. Okay, I'm not in a rush to trade it, but we traded it twice.
FCX.
Freeport, another one I'm not that gung-ho on. I think Freeport is the same thing as copper. You want to be long copper, there's a couple of copper stocks. FCX is the first name that comes out. I think you got to watch yourself here. Okay, so another one. These all went parabolic early in the week, and then look what happens. So I think the market got itself same thing here. Bullish, 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 and then get me in, and this line can cause something serious on the downside. So I wouldn't be comfortable being long FCX.
What's the general reason for the market watching out for the last couple of days?
It's been over. In my opinion, I've been wrong for how many months. I think the whole market is overpriced. I think people are ahead of their skis. Brand new year flows in January. Everybody rushes into their sectors. And then the music stops after the flows are in, and then everything starts to breathe. This is the first time in a while where actually I've seen big name earnings actually dictate the price. It's not something where if you had bad earnings in one name and good earnings, they will all go up. Now you see earnings that aren't bullish, stock went down. You see earnings that are good, stock went up. You've seen that in Microsoft, you've seen that in Meta, you saw it in Tesla. So now I think the just get me in and the passive money, which has been dictating for a while, I think it's a little different. Why? Because of rotation. We've been on this since the beginning of the year. We're looking for rotation. So that means the fluff money or the extra air that was going into these balloons is not there. It's coming out of those looking for other sectors. So now real earnings are going to have real price movement. I think this is fantastic for the overall market.
If you don't like GLD, what's a good gold stock?
Okay, there's a bunch of gold stocks. Okay, and I have a whole list. And we started yesterday with one, and I got a whole list of more of them. There's AGI, there's IAG, there's NGD. I got a list of about a half a dozen, and we have areas, not spots, that we're gonna be looking to get in.
Okay, next one. I see a couple comments here on cocoa.
Cocoa. Now, cocoa, let me tell you, that's been hurting us. Okay, we got to an area, but what I've seen happen the last couple of days in cocoa is encouraging, and it reminds me exactly of what happened in natural gas a couple of weeks ago. I think cocoa had a speed of getting the producers to sell, to capture, and now anything slightly bullish in cocoa, you need something to be slightly bullish, will make it move faster than you can imagine. I like the price of cocoa here. I've been wrong on cocoa, okay? But I do think what we've seen in the last few days and conversations that I've been having, that people said I have to get my stuff done. So now anything slightly bullish is going to be exaggerated because there's going to be nothing against it. I think you could easily have a slightly bullish move, a slightly bullish news can create a pocket right up to here immediately. I'm still in cocoa, and you know the way I trade. If I'm uncomfortable, I will tell you. It's been hurting me, but I'm still not uncomfortable being long cocoa.
Next one, TMC.
TMC, we just started putting it on. Okay, we waited for it to pull back. I think we got to an area, and we have a plan in TMC. And I think we're going to get everything we want in. I like the story. I like the name. Okay, but we avoided all this. This was the beginning of the year. Everybody got in. We waited. And we're starting right around here. And I have a plan in areas that I want to put TMC on. And have another area coming up very closely.
What are your thoughts on USAR?
USAR is another one. We put on a piece. We're looking to put another piece. Why? Because we avoided the hype. And we wait for our spots. Could very easily have gotten in at the beginning of the year, and and you'd still be riding it, and then look what happened. They put it right at you. So we waited, and then we started. I just got to find it. See USA.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yep.
Okay, we started this week. Okay, we avoid. Look at every chart. Doesn't every chart look the same thing? People, it's on the radar. Beginning of the year, get me in, and then just get me in. And you create this. So when you create this, you're going to create this. So we bought some this week somewhere around here, and we have a plan to put on more. We like the stories. We don't think their stories are wrong. We just think people don't pay attention to price. Okay? When I go shopping, I don't know what the word shopping means as far as personal. I just go in and buy something. That's what's happening here. Okay? When I trade commodities or when I trade equities, anything I trade, I do go shopping. I do the opposite of what a human being does. Okay? People here just said, I just want to buy it. Okay, well, that's just crazy. Now look what happened. You're long at 30, and now it's down here in the low 20s, and you got a shot to get nervous again, which, let me clean this up. I want to show you something. Tell me this doesn't look like this. And look what happened, the way it went up. And look what happened when it had to finally wash people. That's what I'm worried about. So that's why I have a plan to put some of it on. I like the story, but this looks exactly like this.
What do you think of the market Monday? Is the huge volatility over?
In stocks?
Mm-hmm.
Stocks, every time I've been super bearish, I haven't been right. I'm bearish. I'm just, I don't know if I'm bearish. I'm just not bullish. So I don't know what's going to happen on Monday.
And heavy metal bulldogs asked about NAK.
NAK, that's something we've been trading around successfully. We did it again. We put it on yesterday. I don't know if I have it up to you. NAK.
You want to put it up?
You want to put it up? Yeah. Give me 1 second, guys. Someone asked me about this the other day, and I'm looking. I didn't have it on here, which is negligent on my part. Okay, there we go. Okay, NAK. Twice we've traded it this year. Twice it's worked for us. We bought it cheaply. Okay, sold it. Then we bought it cheaply again, and we sold it. And what did we do yesterday? We're trying to buy it cheaply, so we bought it again at this spot. I think NAK could keep trading this. If it gets down around here, we will look, because we have room. Below here, you got to get uncomfortable, but I still think you can keep trading this for a while. And if it keeps bouncing off of this, then we're going to start to go. But we're looking for this to trade.
Okay, a lot of people ask about gasoline in general.
Yes, gasoline. You know our opinion on gasoline. Gasoline is a sleeper. Okay, and now you got extreme weather, but there's a reason for get extreme weather, which is cold. So people will look for ways for warmth or climate control. If you get a dry, if it's 0 degrees and it's snowing, normal scenario. If it's 0 degrees and it's not snowing, then you still got people on the road. So then that's when the gasoline demand kind of is a curveball. So we think you got to watch gasoline here. As we get less snow but more cold, then we think it's bullish for gasoline. Okay. You know our opinion. Gasoline's been so good to us. Okay, right now it's at a big spot where if there's nothing happens over the weekend overall war-wise, then we think gasoline can easily breathe. But the first thing I would look to buy on a pullback wouldn't be oil, wouldn't be heat, wouldn't be natural gas, would be gasoline.
Okay, are you watching MU?
I'll watch it. I don't see any rhyme or reason in it, so I leave it alone.
Okay, Kevin's asking about Heckler Mining. We went over that already.
We have a plan, scale down.
Went over copper. Can you... Looks like we went over these. How about the grain market?
Grain markets. We like the grain markets. We got that. We sold out, and then we started putting it back on. Okay, we had wheat on. Kansas City. We had both wheats on. We cashed them out, and then we started putting them right back on. Okay. If you remember, we had wheat on from down here. We thought it was a great level. We sold it, cashed it in. We had a pullback. We started putting it back on, and we have a plan to put more of it on. We like wheat, and we like soybeans. Corn's the last one of the grains that we like. But we like wheat and soybeans. We started putting the wheat back on. Soybeans, same thing. We traded around these positions because you got to trade until you get the confirmation, and we did that in soybeans too. Okay, we bought soybeans. We thought soybeans was too cheap down here. So what do? We bought soybeans. We cashed them out, and then we started putting them on right back. And we're going to put soybeans on again. I think overall, this is the sleeper sector that people aren't paying attention to, is the grain sector.
All right. A lot of people, they're asking about, your thoughts and your trades. How do they get access to that? Do you put out your trades?
Yes. What do you want to put up, like the Discord? Is that how we're doing it?
Yeah, we can do that. First, we can show your.
Yes. Okay. This is us, guys. RNTR. How come that's in the way?
Oh, just click off.
Okay. RNTR.trading. That's us, guys. If you're a member, you know what it means. If you're not a member, I think you got to be nuts not to try this. Okay, you get in-depth. I'll show you our Discord, in-depth analysis, live trade alerts. Every time all you do is looking over my shoulder. Every time I trade, I give you a heads up what I'm looking to do. I give you the reasons. I give you chats. We have Q&As. We have Guy Adami from CNBC every once a week with a Q&A with him. Guy's been incredible. Midday clips. Our nuances, the way we look at things, a lot different than anyone else. We don't focus on the big name stocks. We focus on something to have experience in, which is assets, resources, commodities. So whether we trade futures or we trade equities that have the same similar exposure, that's what we do. It's been working for us. Okay. RNTR.trading. We do a little different because a lot of copycats lately, I guess, because they've seen our performance. We get back to you. You try to join, we get back to you with a mail, with a link, with an invite to our Discord chat. This is our Discord chat. Okay, this is us all day, nonstop. This is just me. Okay, I just give you my opinions. And as you can see, I'm waiting on look at everything we talk about. Just happens to be what we're talking about. Talking about gold stocks, talking about silver stocks. Okay, you know what makes me feel good when I start to say, I'm not one of these. I guess these are emojis they call them. When I see the muscles and whatever you call that, it's good stuff. Okay? Talking about NAK. I made a comment yesterday after watching the market. Silver had a $44 range. Okay, I said, who needs the Super Bowl? Is there anything more exciting on this board than watching this? I agree. Okay, if you do this properly, you enjoy it. If you're caught the wrong way, it's one of the worst feelings in your life. And I've been through both of them. I've lost a lot of money in my life. I've made a lot of money in my life, so I know both feelings. This is when you have to have an edge. Okay, this is what we do. Trade alerts. I tell you when I'm trading. Okay, there's no. I've seen a lot of these videos lately where people say, I just bought this, I'm going to tell you about it. What kind of teamwork is that? You're looking over my shoulder. I tell you, guys, I'm looking at this. And it's up to you if you're interested or you're not. You decide what you want to do. Example was NAK. You guys just asked me about it. That was yesterday. So, guys, I'm looking at NAK. Okay, and then I decided, I tell everybody what I'm doing, I'm buying it. But if you are interested, you get a chance to set yourself up. You say, maybe I do like this area. Maybe I do want to buy it. Okay, that's a perfect example right here. NAK. Okay, Heckler Mining, some of the gold stocks that we started with yesterday. Okay, see what I mean, guys? We're all here. Futures alerts. We trade futures. We trade them actively. Okay, yesterday, I mean, look at what we're doing. Talking about silver. We watched the whole way. Talked about the yen. Talk about, you asked me about this, soybeans. Okay, this is yesterday, guys. This was incredible. This was just incredible. Okay.
So a lot of people are asking, what's the app? Guys, this app is on Discord. Joe gives out his trade alerts and his insights on Discord. Guys, if you're interested in joining this service to watch how Joe trades, you're looking over his shoulder. This is not financial advice. You can go to our website, RNTR.trading.
That's what we have. Okay, just a little quick. We have bots, which we implemented last year. Okay, JoeBot, young man created an algorithm up over 100% last year. Separate subscription. If you trade bots and you made 100%, fantastic. If you're a little uncomfortable, this is not uncomfortable. I wasn't a believer in bots until about a year and a half ago. I'm a believer. Joseph knows what he's doing. 100% last year. Okay, told you what comes with everything. You got to chat all day, chatting back and forth, questions and answers all day. Got questions and answers all day. Midday clip comes out. Middle of the day, we're traders. We're not investors. Okay, so you know how you make a lot of money? Recognizing, being proactive. So in my opinion, at 7 a.m. may change at 11 a.m. We put out a halftime video, equivalent to sports. You go into the halftime, if you adjust or not. I thought it was just something to enhance. Seems to be very important in the way we look to trade. You get all of this with RNTR. Okay, RNTR again. I'll go here. That's here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, RNTR. This is the price. Okay, you could quit any time. You want to join for a couple of weeks, you say, this is not for me. Maybe it's a little aggressive. But when you get returns, like last year we returned, I'm not putting it up no more because you know what? It's history. We put it up yesterday for the last time, the end of January. We made 344% last year. Not exaggerating. Everything is there. All there. Bells and whistles are true. Okay? All straight up, transparent as could be. You want to make those kind of returns? Then you got to be a little more aggressive, a little more committed. If you don't, join for a couple of weeks. Say, this is a little too aggressive for me. But if you want to make these kind of returns, I think that the year before that was 100%. Okay, this year, until yesterday, we lost some money on some equities. 20%, month of January. I would take that anytime. That's what you get. Like we say, you can join, you could quit anytime you want. Got different packages in case you want to. You decide, this is what's happening lately. A lot of people who joined for the month, they wanted to explore. I said, this is for me. We get a little bit of a discount as you go up. Okay, if you want to do that.
Okay. Now, how do you stay balanced and a down market like this, you don't get wrecked?
And that's exactly right. Whoever asked that, asked the right question. We stay balanced. We don't go all in. Sometimes we like something 2 or 3 times and we will buy more and more and more. Now, especially when we talked about not spots anymore, we talked about areas, means we'll have 2 or 3 spots. But we go anywhere from 1, 2 to 5 or 6% of our portfolio into something. Okay. We also have patience, which we're just showing now in USAR, in silver. We waited for things to come into our area. So when things come into our areas, usually people are caught the wrong way. They become uncomfortable. We aren't uncomfortable. A move yesterday in silver, I can look you in the eye. Okay, that's the first time I've gone from totally comfortable to say, I got to focus. Look what had to happen. Uncomfortable, I don't remember. I can't remember. And I think everyone in the group feels the same way. We are not uncomfortable. What an edge that is in markets like this. How could you not be uncomfortable? I'm not uncomfortable. Okay? So no matter what, if I'm uncomfortable, I tell you, I don't remember last time I was uncomfortable. That's an edge.
All right. Well, what should someone trade on? What kind of broker should they start with?
Okay. I use Charles Schwab. I'm hearing a lot of problems with Schwab lately, but I'm a loyal guy. I've been with them for 20 years, so I won't look to alternatives. I think maybe alternative platforms might be better. Commodities, nobody even close. RJ O'Brien. Okay. That's what we use when we trade commodity futures. Okay. They have personal support. The systems work fine. Everything gets done. Never a problem. A lot of people have used them since they started trading futures, and I think everyone has a compliment. Not even close. I believe me. Goldman Sachs, where I retired from, that was the place. They don't have those platforms anymore. They sold them out. So RJ O'Brien is the best.
All right. How much should someone start with if they're looking to trade?
Trading commodities, you probably need between 5 and 10 grand because it's a marginable account, which everybody got a rude awakening yesterday when it came to the silver market. Equities, we've had people start with $1,000, a couple $1,000. You just proportion it properly, okay, and it works.
And what percentage would you put into each stock of your portfolio?
We just said any of our positions, we go anywhere from, let's say, 2 to 5%.
All right.
If we like something, we can go to 7 or 8.
Do you share how many shares you're buying?
We tell you what we're looking to put in. It goes right onto our log. You got to do a little homework on your own. Okay, once we do the trade, we say, guys, I'm buying it here. Any of our veterans who have been with us for a while, they know how many shares or how much we put in before we even put it up there. Okay, go look in the log, you see exactly what it is. Okay, we round off. Say, I'm not going to buy 900 shares or something. I'm going to buy 1,000 shares. I'm not going to buy 488 shares or something. I'm going to buy 500. So I round things off.
Okay, so let's see here. Do you trade options?
We trade options, and if you're a buyer of options, we don't trade those because they're overpriced. We have an option boot camp that teaches you how to price options. It's a special subscription, and if you're a buyer of options and you don't have that boot camp under your belt, you are giving a lot of money away. So we only trade options when they are fair value, and options right now, in our opinion, are not fair value. If you're a buyer of options, puts a call, so make a difference.
All right, that looks like that covers all our questions here.
You can hear my voice today, very different because of silver yesterday.
Yep. All right. Okay. So,
want to go back?
We can go back.
Any quick questions before we go?
We'd probably just have a quick question. Netflix and Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla's actually getting to an area that we actually may be looking. Now, we caught Tesla twice. It's one of the few things we don't trade. We don't try to trade the big names. We traded it twice last year, and we caught it well. I think we made 50 points and 30 points trading Tesla. Now, I think Tesla's at a point where you might want to go short. We're getting to a failure area. So we have failure areas. If Tesla gets up to our failure area, we're going to start looking. We may go short Tesla. Netflix. I'm long some Netflix, and I'm not that comfortable, but I think it's doing a lot of work down here. And Guy Adami, who's been on, let me tell you, I can't remember last time he gave us one that didn't work. And he likes it down here. Gives me another reason to hold on a little bit here. Because with the market moving down, this thing, I think, is ahead of it. So now you're doing work down here where the rest of the, this should have been a lot lower on it the last few days, and it's not. So it's doing work, so I think it's priced in already. So I think if Guy is right, anything that's slightly bullish here can make this thing have a nice bounce, and it's a trade. It's not something I'm buying and putting away for my kids.
Do you have any insight on the big names like Apple or Google?
Yes, we actually, the first time in a while, we told the group that I like Apple. And we got it at a good spot, and it bounced well. And I think it's becoming a little bit of the safe haven again. But this is for a trade. You don't see me put on so. You don't see me putting out a comment saying I like Apple right here. But we put one out right here. We said there's a good trade, and actually we get into a target. We should put the target out too, where we think it could go, and we think it could go up around here for a trade. Okay, I trade Apple once every few years. Okay, and I know my areas. I'm a buyer at 150 and I'm a seller at 240, and I've been doing that for a couple of times over the last 5 years. So but I'm not an active trader in Apple. Google's the same thing. I have opinions, but you know what? My opinions usually on those are bearish, and they've been wrong. So don't listen to me when it comes to the big names.
All right, I think that covers all the questions for today.
Okay, we had a nice one today. We'll be back here on Wednesday at 8:30. Now, you see what happened yesterday. If something crazy happens over the weekend or Sunday night when the market's open in Asia, we'll give you a quick promo and say, guys, we're going to be here Tuesday at 8:30. We'll have someone come in and we'll do a special video, okay, a special live like this, okay? We'll give you a heads up first, okay? Because why wait till Wednesday if something's going to happen? Sunday night, anything can happen, okay? We could have everything settle in Iran. We could have all the ships that are lined up do nothing. Oil can have a drastic move. What happened in metals was not even epic, it was historic. So anything can happen. We could have silver drop another $20. We could have silver bounce and hold, and the fundamentals take over, goes right back up. So if something crazy happens from tomorrow night until, say, Monday morning, we may have a special one. Otherwise, we'll be back here Wednesday at 8:30 and then back here Friday at 8:30. Guys, you have to adjust. Okay, we've adjusted. Okay, you know what? I think a lot of people ruin their year in January. We didn't ruin our year. We're set up. We're on offense. I think, ask yourself, look in the mirror, say, are you on offense or on defense? I think most people now are on defense. We're on offense. I'll see you Wednesday morning.